Okay. Okay, thanks for joining us tonight. Let's kick this off. First thing, we're going to get training by one of our very own. Are you an SED? I think she might be an SED. And
Edie.
she is a $1 Million Club member, top income earner in Canada. And, we're doing mindset training and then real training. And both things are going to be super useful from these great leaders that we've got coming up. And I'll introduce Erin when she's ready to go. Trina, I'll hand over to you.
Hello, how's everyone doing tonight? Thursday night. We ready to put our thinking hats on, take some notes. So what I want to train you guys on tonight and just share some perspective with is, I want you to tell me in the comments, how many have gotten discouraged in their business? All of us, right? Right? We've all gotten discouraged in our business. Some of us get discouraged if we're not seeing results fast enough. Okay. It is easy to not get discouraged when what we're working for isn't materializing fast enough. Okay. I understand, you see some people that have fast success, some people have slow success and then they boom. So, all different, everybody's journey is different, right? Don't get distracted focusing on the goal and miss the greatness that you gain from the journey and from the work that you put in to get to your goal. The work that you're going to put into yourself to get to your goal, you're going to be a different person. I am not the same person I was when I joined this business 6 years ago. I'm not the same person as I was a year ago, right? When you're going for your goal and then you hit it, and then you're going for a bigger goal, that bigger goal is going to require a better, bigger version of yourself as well. And you need to enjoy that journey the whole way, right? Amazing things are happening at every step of your journey. So look for them, see them, write them down. Okay. Every day when you're feeling frustrated and something in your business, if you can't get that VIP, if they're ghosting you, or if it's been a long time since you've got a market partner, just take that appreciative breath and just really, really step back. And, sometimes I actually did this on a coaching call last week where I said she was really discouraged. She just didn't think that she could do this. This wasn't for her. I said, bring up your tree in your back office, your graphic tree. And I was like, how many VIPs and customers do you have back there? And when she brought that back there and she saw all those things, like, she was like, well, yeah, I guess things are working. Sometimes when you're not hitting your goal or things are like going slow for a while, as long as you're doing the work, it's going to all come out of the funnel. That's the season I'm actually in right now. Results are slow for me right now, but I'm doing the work consistently every day. So I'm just like, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to come out of the funnel. I'm going to have a month where I'm going to have like 5 market partners and 12 VIPs, because I know that I'm planting the seeds and I'm putting them all in the funnel. And then they're all just going to come out of that funnel into your business. Okay. So, enjoy the season, enjoy the journey the whole entire way. And just remember that happiness, we do this business for happiness, right? Whether, it's financial that makes you happy, whether it's, the trips or the freedom or whatever it is, it's to make you happy. We want to be happy, and happiness is found in the right now. Getting that goal, maybe you think that's going to make you happy, but if you're not happy through the whole journey, then it's just not going to be the same when you actually get there. So did you guys know that this is a stat? I'm not sure if you like stats. I do. Do you know that it takes 10,000 hours to be great at something? 10,000 hours to be great at something. What's super cool is that network marketing, we can start this business and we can take messy action. We don't need to be great to start, right? We can take messy action. We don't need the big degrees and stuff like that. But a lot of times we take messy action, and we have to remember again, it's a journey. We're learning, we're growing as a person, we're growing with our skills. And that journey is the hours, is the 10,000 hours that you're getting, right? So enjoy the journey. Think of it as like network marketing school. You're putting yourself in network marketing school, at the same time earning an income, which is pretty cool, right? So, don't be discouraged when you start, or if you started and things are going backwards. Things happen like that. And again, you're always in a different season. So here's another question for you guys. Do you treat this business like a hobby or like a business? And you don't need to answer it in the comments. Keep it to yourself, but I want you to really be honest with yourself. Okay. A hobby in the dictionary says it's an activity done in one's leisure time for pleasure. A business is a person's occupation, profession, trade, passion, right? Right. Business mindset. Okay. So are you treating this business like a hobby or like a business? Think of business professionals. Doctors spend hours in their practice and years in medical school. Real estate agents, the same thing. They have to pass big exams. They fail forward. They get no's. They have that whole learning process along the way as well. And a lot of people, we're really, really lucky with network marketing, because we have our Smart Start and we can make an income right away. But the average person, to get a job, it requires them to go to university for 4 years or more, right? So thinking about that, yes, we're lucky that we can make an income right away, and we don't have to spend thousands of dollars and go to university. But why do we get so discouraged after a few days or weeks or even months of working our business and not seeing results, right? This is a duplicatable business. This is consistency business. You get better and better as those hours of network marketing goes on, right? So we can't be hard on ourselves if we're not seeing results right away, especially if like I told you, and I said this on one of my training calls, if there are 2 market partners and one of them is not really showing up on doing events, they're not showing up on social media, they're not doing any coaching calls, they're not listening to their upline, none of the stuff, but they are getting results. But there's another MP, and they're doing their income producing activities every day. They're asking questions. They're taking advice. They're being coachable. They're showing up, but they're not getting any results. I'm not worried. I know that with their consistent work, that it's going again to come out of that funnel. I'm more worried about the person that may have results right now, that they're probably tapped into that, really hot market. And then once that's done, those type of people usually go away. You're building the skills, and then all of that work is going to come to life. You just have to be patient, right? Yeah, I already said this earlier. I said, if you start thinking long-term, put yourself in not really, but network marketing school, work at becoming good at sales, at closing, at your mindset. We know that this business is more mindset than it is skill, right? For the next year, just really, really dive down into your virtual mind, into network marketing school, and you will see massive growth. And buckle up, create long-term vision, and quit the hobby mentality. Get that business mindset, and you will see a shift in your business. Okay. Remember, doctors and lawyers and CEOs, they have to go to school and invest money and into their education and spend sleepless nights studying and to make even like a little, well, not a little income. They make a good income. So why are we okay with this, but expect such quick success without showing up to Super Saturdays, without going to Monations, if you're in Canada, without going to Road to Success, without coming on trainings, without sharing the opportunity, right? Those are the people who say, oh, it's a scam, it doesn't work. I spent more money than I made. That's because they treated it like a hobby you pay for. If you go to yoga and you pay $10 every time you go, you're paying for that hobby, right? So those are the people that think that it's a get rich quick and give this industry a bad name, right? Okay, so here's a question for you guys. Who here has been in the business for a while and who had success at the beginning or at some point in their business, and their business has gone backwards? Has that happened to anybody? Yep, that happened to me. Now, a lot of you I tell that story to, that in 2017 and 2018, I lost about 75% of my business. It went drastically bad, but I had belief. Belief in this company. I had belief in the industry, belief in the product. And I knew that if I just stayed consistent and I could build it back up. And you know what? So I was SED. I lost my SED. I'm ED, but guess what? I'm going to get back there. And you know what? It's going to feel even better. It's going to feel even better because I pushed through so many obstacles and failing forward and hard work to get there, that when I get back up to SED, like, man, I'm having a party. Erin, you're coming to Nova Scotia. We're having a party when I get back up there. And that's the thing, is you just got to believe. So many people, quit during those years because they're like, oh, this isn't working. And one little step in the other direction and they think like, oh yeah, this was too good to be true, and they quit. But those people that stuck in it, our businesses are going back up. And I bet you they're watching saying, I should have stuck with it and should have had that belief in themselves and in the company. And I really believe that you're on the right track. If you've had failure in your business, you are on the right track. This is another stat. They say that people who experience failure have a 50% more chance of success than those who don't experience failure. How cool is that? I mean, think about there's lots of people we know, like Michael Jordan and Oprah Winfrey, like Disney. They said he didn't have a very good imagination, all that kind of stuff, right? When you experience failure, it makes you stronger. And it's just failure. And, I learned this from John Maxwell. Failure and success, they're not opposite. They go together. Lost where I am in my notes. And here's a couple other stories that I really, really like of some people that we know in Monet. Connie Sanchez, she's a very similar story to me. I remember, I think we actually hit SED the same month. And same thing with her. Her business went backwards. She lost 75% of her business. And she just kept growing and growing. And she has the strongest team, she says, she's ever had. She's back up to SED. She's an MDC earner. Can you imagine if she quit when she lost that 75% of her business? Like, oh my goodness, this isn't working. I need to jump ship and do something else just to save my income. But she stuck with it. She pushed through the obstacles and got through it, right? So when you're discouraged, you're not getting results, when you're comparing, you got to push through it and keep going, okay? Sarah Reed, we all know her story. She was stuck at MMB for a year and a half, and then within 10 months, she was SED. Like, how amazing is that? Ali Hirschman, She was at MMM for a year and a half. And in 1 month, she went from AED to ED to SED. Okay, so she was MMM, and she just kept staying the course and working towards her business. And then again, it all just came out of that funnel, right? Because she was consistently, even though her business wasn't moving forward, she was consistently going and working on her business, working on herself all the time, so that all would come out of the funnel. Set goals and dreams big. So important for not just your business, but for your mind as well. But if they don't happen when you've set them for, it doesn't mean that you aren't meant for this business or that you can't get that goal. Just realign and keep going. When my team tells me something like that, like they're so disappointed. And you know what? This is the mindset that I used to have years ago. If somebody didn't hit a goal, I was like, that's it. They're going to quit. They didn't earn that trip. Oh my gosh, they're going to quit. And now, because I've been through so many, failures into the business, I say, congratulations. That is going to be an amazing story you're going to have for when someone joins your team, they're running for a goal and they don't hit it. You can say, yeah, you know what? That was me. And look where I am now. It's all part of your journey, right? It's all part of the story. So just realign your goals and keep going. Don't readjust the goal if you don't hit it. Readjust the activity you're doing. Okay, so many people, they're like, when they take too long to hit like director or MM or MMB, they're like, I think I'm okay with just maintaining this, because they think that they can't do it. Don't readjust your goal. Just readjust the activity that you're doing to get to your goal. Okay. And then stop comparing yourself, right? Everyone's journey is different. Everyone who is different. Don't compare your chapter 2 to somebody else's chapter 10. If it takes you longer to get to director than Sally Sue, who cares? You're both going to get there. You're still going to get there. Like I said at the beginning, enjoy the journey, because happiness is in the now. We have fun. This business is fun, right? We got to have fun along the way and enjoy the journey, enjoy the growth. I don't know if my BFF is on this call or not, but I tell her our story a lot. She was my very first market partner. And when I first started, I did have really fast success. And she started the same time as me, but she didn't see that same success. And I hope she doesn't mind me telling this story. I've told it a couple of times, so I'm sure she's fine. So within a few weeks, she was like, I don't think that I'm meant for this. I don't think that I can do this. And I was like, you're only a few weeks in. But she was comparing herself to her best friend who was seeing, fast growth, fast success. And, she within, the next year she did hit MMB and she hit MM. She is on here. She did hit, so you know what? If she would have just quit and said, this isn't for me, she wouldn't have earned the Vegas trips. She's going for Miami right now. Like she wouldn't have earned all these things along the way. She wouldn't have been able to be home with her kids and earn an income if she would have just kept comparing herself to me. Okay. So don't get discouraged in the compare-itis, because that's going to get you in trouble as well. And just the last thing I want to say is set goals high. And I said this earlier, set goals high, but if you don't achieve them, again, don't readjust the goal, readjust the activity. Residual income takes time to build when you do it the right way. But I promise you, if you stay the course, you stay consistent, you're doing the income producing activities, you're working on your mindset, they're all going to fall out of that funnel and it will be so worth it. That's it.
That's awesome.
For the moon.
Thank you so much, Trina. I did have a question for you. Something I've been thinking about, and it's like, if you think about whenever you fall back, I feel like people get stuck in their mindset of, I'm an MMP or I'm an MMB or MMP or MMB is hard. And then they're forever fighting to get back there. But I think they're sabotaging themselves in their mind. Have you thought about that, or how does that play into what your thoughts are?
Yeah, I think that again, I think it's so important to enjoy the journey, because yeah, when you're so focused on getting there and getting to that goal, that you get frustrated. So, like sometimes I teach my team, are you running for the MMB or the MMP, or do you want the income at that rank? Because I know some people on my team that I'm like, okay, well, if you're having trouble getting team or getting MMPs, what's some other ways that we can take advantage of the compensation plan until we do start to see some runners underneath you? In fact, Elise Manzer was like this. She was AMB for so long, like I think almost 2 years she was AMB, but she would have like, and I don't know if she's like 10,000 PV now, but I remember back then it was still like 6,000 PV, bringing in all the VIPs, but she couldn't get past AMB. But her income was like the exact same as, an MMB or even an AMM, because she just like kept going, kept building like what she was in control with, and she was enjoying the journey along the way. And then finally she found some runners, and her business, again, it all came out of that funnel and into her business. So yeah, I think that if you're so focused on, of course, you want that goal, and you want to have a plan to get that goal. But while you're running for that goal, you need to like figure out how to enjoy the process along the way, or you'll just get discouraged when you don't hit it.
That's awesome. Thanks so much.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else have a question they want to ask? Feel free to unmute. Well, I will leave you with a couple of notes, keynotes, I think, and you've said it 15 times, and I'm going to say it again. The journey is the accomplishment. It's almost the first thing you said, and I've heard that in so many inspirational leaders trainings. That is the accomplishment, guys. Treat your business like a business mindset. She did say work at becoming a network marketing professional. That's another great leader talks about that. So these are all great advice, and you guys should definitely take these to heed. And thank you, Trina, for sharing with us.
You're welcome.
Okay. So now I want to switch over. We're going to move to Erin Fudge, who, man, she is really, really good at this business, man. She has amazing PV out of my downline. I've got a pretty large downline, and out of my downline, she is consistently in the top 1 or 2 of PV. And I think she just hit another rank, and she continues to be on fire. And I think we're going to see her walking across the stage soon. So hopefully that's in September. Anyways, Erin, why don't you share with us what you've learned about Reels and take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Erin. I always like being on trainings with you because we have the best name in the whole entire world and we get to share it together. It's my favorite. But thank you so much again for asking me to be a part of this. Again, anytime I get to train on anything, I'm always super excited. So I'll just introduce myself for people who don't know. My name is Erin Fudge. I am MMM, working on the director, Erin. It's coming. It's coming. But you guys, I've been with this business. It's going to be 5 years next month, which blows my mind. And I want to talk tonight. We're going to talk about Reels. And I know I see Kayla on here and I'm like, oh no, because Kayla is like, she knows everything about Reels. And I'm new to the game, you guys, on Reels. And it's so funny because Trina is my upline and we've had so many conversations and I was like, I need to start doing Reels. And she's like, you do? I'm like, I need to start doing Reels. And she's like, yeah, do. So I actually stuck to a New Year's resolution. How about them apples? All right. I actually in January was like, okay, I am doing this. I'm going to start with reels. So I was really comfortable just sticking to what has worked for me in the past, which is, doing posts, my pictures, my stories. My stories have brought me a lot of business, for sure. So I'm a little behind on the times because the reel train started a while ago, but it's never too late to start something, you guys. And that's 100% truth. And one of the things that really stuck with me, and it was Sarah Hill, I think it was on one of her reels or a training that she did. And she just said, if it can be a story, it can be a reel. And I was like, oh, I'm like, that really makes sense because, we're also, I know majority of us are very comfortable. Oh, thank you, Brittany. We're also comfortable with, the stories. For me, I'm like, I will talk on those all day, all night, man, no problem. But when it came to a reel, I don't know why. I am a self-proclaimed perfectionist. That's a lot of my problem is that if things don't look proper, I will not post it. I've been a teacher for 17 years. I teach art and photography, so I'm very visual. So I get really hung up on these things. My team always tells me, they're like, just do it, stop. But we did a training with Kristen Boss. And if you don't follow Kristen Boss, she's an incredible coach. I'm part of her community. And she was talking a lot about Instagram and what it is becoming. And what it is becoming is a video platform, right? So back in the day, it used to be, post all your pretty pictures, right? And that's what people cared about. But now the actual, the platform itself is turning into video based. It's so funny because I know a lot of people are like, I don't want to do reels. They're like, it's not me. It's not for me. It's not what I want to do. And I'm like, you guys, this business is ever changing. It's ever evolving. The way that we are, presenting ourselves and our opportunity and our products is always going to change. And right now, reels is where it's at. So if you're not willing to give them a go, I really do think that your business will probably suffer from it. And like I said, I am not an expert, but I have been working hard on it here for the last, 5 weeks or so. I am a teacher, so I am a good student as well. I'm always willing to learn. And I was going to make this training. I was like, what can I tell people about, reels that maybe you don't know yet, or that things that are holding you back? And I could have made this a how to do it and, showed you all the things and stuff. But, you guys, there's so many good tutorials out there about the functionality of reels and how to actually create them. And so I figured that, this is going to be maybe a little bit more beneficial for you guys. And you know what? I honestly have not watched one tutorial on reels at all. I just went in there and I started to figure it out. They are not as scary and difficult to do as you might think that they are. I think that it's so funny because we always say like, don't scroll. Scrolling is so bad in your business because you get lost. I actually truly believe you should take 15 minutes a day and scroll through reels and look at them and see what they are to kind of spark, that inspiration in your brain. And again, as a teacher, we learn best when we do. I have taught kids that could not draw a freaking circle at the beginning of the year, and they're shading spheres and painting and doing all this stuff. And it's because they're practicing. And that's what I think with reels is that we learn best when we're actually doing it. And here's what one of the things that I'm going to ask you guys, how many people aren't doing reels because you don't know what to post about? You're like, I got to make a reel. What the heck am I supposed to make it about? Right? Yes. You're like, I don't know. And that was me. I'm like, and that's the thing, you guys, there's so many products in Monade, right? We've got body care, hair care, skin care, so many things that it can be super, super overwhelming because you're like, I don't know what to do. And how many people feel like their reels, if you're doing reels right now, that they're not really getting you any new customers or business partners. So you're doing reels right now, but they're not doing anything for you. You're like, I'm making all these reels, nothing's happening. These are dumb. I'm going to quit, right? So many people. Yes. Okay. How many people aren't doing reels because you're like, oh my God, they're going to take so much time. I don't have time to do them. Right? You're like, oh my gosh, this is overwhelming. It's going to take way too much time. I'm not going to do it. Okay. All the things. All right. So here's what I want you to think about. first thing you guys, you need to understand, we are in a permission-based selling industry now. Okay. It used to be able, like when we first started this business, it was all about what were we doing? We're like, and I know I started in 2017. I had no idea what I was doing. I was spamming the hell out of everybody. I was like, "Hi, have you heard about Monate?" And I'd send them these giant messages, and it actually worked some of the time, which was great. But things have really changed on Instagram. It's really now about us presenting and getting the permission from people to actually sell to them. And you do that through consistency. And you're going to be able to do that through Reels because you're going to show up. And I'll tell you here now. So if you're lost for ideas and you feel like you're all over the place, and you guys, this has been my biggest struggle and probably one of the reasons it took me this long to create Reels, is because you need to niche down. How many people have heard of niching down? All right, now you're going to find out. Yes. Okay, I'm going to share my screen here. I really hope this works. Welcome to, you're all in my classroom right now. Welcome to Miss Fudge's classroom. Everybody be quiet, okay? Spit out your gum. If you're chewing gum, get rid of it. It's not allowed in here. Just joking. Okay, this is what I really struggled with, was what is a niche? Okay, so what is a niche? So a niche is literally the specific topic that you provide value and educate on. And that's what we're doing in this, when it comes to Reels, you guys, is we are basically educating people on products and educating people on the business model as well, okay? Now, here's the thing. If you are like, oh my gosh, okay, today I'm gonna make a reel on wellness, and then tomorrow I'm gonna make a reel on skincare, and then the next one I'm gonna do on hair, and then I'm gonna show my dog, and you're just like all over the place, people are gonna come to your page and be like, what is this chick or dude all about? Like, what is happening here? It's too crazy. It's all over the place. And they're not going to click to follow, right? They're not going to really stick with you. And so when you think about a niche, and that was the biggest thing for me, like, I was like, I don't even know. I'm like, I'm 40, I'm a mom, I have kids, and I really had to think about, because I love our skincare, you guys. Oh my God, I love it so much. So this has been really hard for me to do. But I just decided for myself personally that my niche is going to be, I'm going to focus on hair growth. Like, hair growth is going to be my thing. Like, I looked at myself, I'm like, okay, what has Monate really, well, it's done a million things for me, but what is it that's attracted people mostly to me about this business? And it's always been about my hair. And so I was like, okay, and my hair is very long. You can see it's way down there. And so that's really what I started to focus on, was I'm like, okay, I am going to focus on growth. And I'm going to focus on serving my audience. And that's another thing, you guys, this business, if you're showing up expecting sales and you're just going out there and you're just doing things because you're like, I need a VIP, I need this, I need that, I need that. It's not authentic. You want to be authentic. So when you're like showing up, as kind of your true self, and you're leading with joy and you're excited and you're putting it out there, people are going to pick up on your real vibe. So when I'm putting Reels out, I'm not like, I want to get a customer, right? I'm like, this is awesome, right? So if you've been following me, you'll see that I've been doing a lot of hair tutorials. So I've been having fun with different updos and different things, but I'm still really focusing on my other Reels on my niche, which is like, growth, hair growth. I'm focusing on the oil, all that jazz. So I just put up a couple of examples that I've seen from people that are really niching down in it. So if you have curly hair, a great niche is that you have curly hair. You can show different styles, how the air dry cream works versus how the curl cream works, right? You can look at even the blowout cream, taking your curly hair to straight, right? So you're really focusing all of your Reels on one specific thing. And I know it's difficult, trust me, because I'm like, man, I want to talk about some other stuff. But I think that after a while, you're able to break free from that niche a bit. But to get going and get things moving, focusing on one thing is going to keep people. So again, sweaty gym girl, right? So you're a person who goes to the gym all the time. You're putting that all over your feed. Okay. So think about that. What does that mean? Dry shampoo, right? Your hair gets greasy. So you can be focusing on things like that. Hair damage, if you are a blonde, right? Focusing on how hair damage can be fixed, using certain products with us. And then hair growth is obviously the one that I did. But the thing is that when you're picking that niche, you're deciding who your ideal follower is going to be. So who are the specific people that you want to target? And target's a horrible word, but that you want to help. That's a better word. There we go. That you want to help with a specific concern that they have. I will just say as of now, and I've been, about 5 weeks in or so, and this is a process, like as you're building your niche and building your community and building your following, but people are going to follow you based on a need, right? So if I'm continually showing, hair growth things, talking about hair, talking about the oil, how it helps, all that, people are going to actually click to follow because those are the people who actually need my help, right? Those are the people that are actually interested and open to, looking at hair growth. So here's my suggestion, right? So you go up and you put up a reel on your dog. You're like, here's my dog. And you're like, it's so funny. And all these people follow you and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting so many followers. This is so amazing. And you know why they're following you? Because you posted a thing about your dog. So they're interested in dogs, right? And then the next day you're like, okay, and now I'm going to go in and I'm going to do my hair and talk about split ends. And then people that followed you because of the dog are like, well, this isn't for me. But if you're consistently talking about one thing, right? And you're showing up every single day, talking about the same thing, but in different ways, people are going to stick with you. They're going to buy into you and they're going to become your customers. I've gotten, and it's been 5 weeks, but I've just signed 3 new VIPs, all based on hair growth. Oil, everybody got the oil, right? Because I've been talking about the oil so much. So it's starting to kind of, and it's going to take time to make it huge, but I've seen so many girls who are so niche down and I'm talking in February 3rd, they had 8 VIPs because they've been doing this for so long now and just sticking with the same thing that the people are coming, right? So here's a couple of things that I want to talk about with your reels. And I can even send you this little PowerPoint thing here after, Erin, if you want it. Welcome again. This is teacher mode happening here. But what your reels should have in them, as well as your caption. So reels, number one, you guys, there's kind of like 5 things that need to happen in each of your reels. And number one, the first thing is that you need to be providing value in your reels. Okay, that's what we're doing. We're providing value, right? So basing that on your niche, whatever reel it is, make sure that there's value based on what it is that you're specifically focusing on. Okay, and this is coming from photography teacher, Miss Field Fudge. Good lighting, you guys. Natural light is the best. I'm blessed. I have huge windows in my house. They face the right way every day. I'm like, thank you. But good lighting, if you don't invest in a ring light, it'll be the best investment you've ever made. Right now, if I didn't have mine, I'd be sitting in the dark, okay? But good lighting, like professional looking reels, really make a difference for people to take you seriously, in my opinion. Right? And then also your reel should be solving some sort of problem. So again, that's based on your niche. What is the problem that you're wanting to solve for people? If it's, curly hair, you want to solve the fact that their hair is frizzy. If it's growth, you want to make sure that their hair is actually growing. You should always have a hook, okay, in your reel, or else in your caption. And I'll talk about captions in a minute here. But this is how you get people in. So if you just post a reel and you're like, look at me and my long hair, it's like, people, right? People want to see that. But when you're hooking them in with that first line, right? That's what's going to get people to either watch your reel or actually stick with it and read your caption. So, the best, whatever it is I've ever done, or, and I just put a few examples here and I have more if you guys want them, but like tips. 10 tips to growing your hair longer, right? 10 tips to getting rid of split ends, 10 tips to whatever. People are like, oh, I need to know what these 10 tips are, right? And think of yourself when you're looking at reels, if somebody has an interesting hook right there, you're like, tell me more, right? You want to dig in, you want to look at it, you want to see what's going on there. So make sure that you have some sort of hook that's bringing people into your content. And then always a call to action. And I'll talk about those two in a minute here, but calls to actions are so important. And it's so funny, you guys, I actually, before I started teaching art, I taught English. And I've taught kids how to write essays and do all this. And one of the things holding me back from posting reels was because I'm like, I can't write a good caption. Like captions for me, I'd be like, check it out. I love my friends. This is great. I don't know what I'm doing. But you really need to tell your followers and your community what you want them to do, right? So swipe up to learn more at the end of your caption, right? Click the poll, get started today, give this a try, tag someone who, take my hair consultation, link is in the bio. But at the end of your caption, you always want to have something that's actually giving your followers something to do, okay? So hope that all makes sense so far. All right. I brought in a few of my things here. One of the things with reels, okay? So a lot of the times And it's a bit of a pain in the butt. I'm not going to lie. When I'm putting text in there, I'm like, ugh, trying to get it all timed up and figured out. But text in your reels and text on your cover photos are actually really important, and you should have them in both. Okay. You have to remember, not everybody's going to be watching your reels with sound on. Okay. Some people, yes, we're all very visual, but some people like to read. So if you're leaving text out of your actual reel, and I hope this is going to work. There we go. Right. So I'm doing an oil treatment here, but I'm also giving instructions at the same time. Right. This is great for your already VIPs. You can send them this to like how to do it. Right. But you want to make sure that you have text in your reels so that you're catering to all audiences. Right. Everybody's a different type of learner. Some people like to read, some don't. Some people have sound on, and if they just looked at that and there was no writing, they'd be like, what is even happening here? Right. And they might not want to read my caption. And some people like captions and some don't. If you have the text in there, they might not need to read the caption. When it comes to cover photos, so you can see for me, I actually create my own cover photos every time. If you need a selfie, Trina, for me for anything, I have about 7,500 now. I've taken so many, but I actually like to create my own cover photos instead of you can create the cover in your reel and just kind of grab from there. But you want to make sure that there's text on there, because now when people are going to your pages, they're actually looking more at the Reels section than they are at your normal grid. Right. So if they go in and you just have like all these pictures or whatever sitting there with no captions, they don't know what they're about. So making sure that you have what your reel is about on there is going to help new viewers. And that's a great thing about reels, guys, is they never die. Like you can get like you can get like crap views and nobody's looking at it. And all of a sudden 3 weeks later, you're like, what the heck? I have 20K on here, and they come back. So it's very, very crazy. I have that happening on one of my reels on Facebook right now that I thought was like the worst one I've ever done. And I'm like, whatever, I just put it up there. And I have like I think I have like 50K views on it now. And I've gotten 300 new followers on Facebook from it. And I put it up like 3 weeks ago. So it's very bizarre. I'm not good at algorithms and all that, but making sure you have the text on there is going to help your new viewers make sure that they know what the reels are about, and that will have them click more to go. And you can see like my views are not huge right now on a lot of them. But you know what? That's okay. You don't need to go viral with reels. You can, it's great. It'll bring in a lot of new followers and stuff. But as long as you're showing up and serving and people are enjoying your content, it's going to grow, and you just got to keep going and being consistent with it. It's not going to happen overnight. That's for sure. All right. So again, we're always educating and we're entertaining with our reels. That is my goal with it. I was telling somebody, I can't remember who it was. It was Jen. Jen go to message me and she was like, oh my God, your reels are so funny. I was like, dude, I wanted to be on Saturday Night Live when I was younger. It was so bad. I'm like living my Saturday Night Live dream through my reels right now and having fun with it. And that's the thing. Reels can be super fun. But again, we're always educating and entertaining people, right? So this is one that I did with my son. He vacuumed my hair. If you haven't seen it, it's freaking hilarious. He vacuumed my hair and put a scrunchie on it. It was the easiest ponytail you could ever have. But it's really important to look for trending songs. Okay. So trending songs, and that's the thing that's going to can make or break your reel. If you have a trending song on there, you're more likely to get more views, which again, you want people's eyes on you doing this. If you can't find, and I just put a little blue arrow down there, you can find trending when you go view, reels, when you're just kind of scrolling and checking them out. If there's that little arrow beside it there, that means that it's a trending song. Okay. So you kind of want to plan your reels, and you also want to look for those trending songs to put them on, because that means that they're going to probably get more views. If you don't see those, I think you have to either have a business or a creator. You can't have a personal account, but maybe don't quote me on that one. But you should be able to see that. You can use the audio for whatever, but again, remember, you're wanting to keep whatever your content is about your niche. And so that's kind of what I've been doing, is planning what I want my reels to be. Then I'm looking and scrolling. Then I'm finding songs that I'm like, ooh, that one will work with what I'm going to do. So make sure, again, with the trending, that you're using the trending audio, because that will definitely help with your views. Okay. So one of the things that I've been working on, and I know my friend Lane is on here and she loves this about me, is that I'm trying to hook people quick. All right. Bottom line is, and I don't even know, I think it's 8 seconds. It might be 3 seconds now, but people's attention spans are so freaking short. Like, I don't know how many people have already logged off since I've been talking. A few, because they're like, I gotta go. Right. So my biggest goal with it is that you want to keep your reels short. The maximum amount of time I will do a reel is 15 seconds. And you want to hook people right away. So I'll just show you. This is one that I did here. So these are one of my hair tutorials here. And what I'm doing, everybody, like right away, I'm like, go from this to this. And then I move into the tutorial. Right? So right at the beginning for me is like, you want to hook people right away. So how can you do that? Right? How can you hook people? Transitions are going to be great. I'll talk about those in a second. For me, I'm like, I'm focusing on hairstyles. So I'm like, if I can show what it was and right away what it's going to be, and then the process, that's going to hook people because they're like, how did she do that? And then they're going to stick around and actually want to watch it. Right. So I think that, remember when you're making these reels, and I've seen people, and you can do them up to 60 seconds now. And I've seen people do 60 seconds for something. And I'm like, people, they want it quick, right? They want it quick. They want to see it. They want to see if they like it, and they'll decide from that. So make sure that you're keeping, my suggestion is keeping your reels short, but like 15 seconds. Okay. So entertainment, you guys, that's why, how many people, all the reels that you watch, you're like, when you're laughing at them and you think they're hilarious, you're like, yes, like I want to watch this. It's not always like the, la 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 type of ones. You're like, you want to laugh at them. So if you're entertaining people in your reel, which is great, you can save the education for the caption. And that's a lot of the times what I'm doing. Again, and I'll just show you, this is one of my favorite ones.
These are my ladies. This is Jill. This is my lady, Amy. Little Susie, Brianna. You know why we call her Brianna, right? It's a long story. Shaniqua, Helga.
Right. So, it's like having fun with the products and everything, but then I'm still educating people in my caption. I've got my hook at the beginning there. I'm telling people to save the post for later. And then at the bottom, it's, if your products aren't giving you results, take my hair consultation. I got that hook there at the end, but I'm also explaining all these, but I'm still sticking with, if you notice, Brianna was the oil, and I said it's a long story and dragged it down my hair. So I was like, there you go. But again, it's still about my niche, but it's also entertaining, but still educating people here in the comments. So here's one of the tips that I will tell you guys. Transitions. So there's so many different types of transitions that you can do, and that's going to grab people's attention really, really quickly. So there's really simple ones where, you might flash your hand across the screen. And then after, when you freeze it and then you come back and then you've changed after you've done the hand, that's going to be great. I always film all of my reels in ×4 speed. Because if you're doing something that requires a lot of transitions, if it's super slow, it's going to be really obvious that you do the transitions. Whereas if you use something like, if you're extra fast, like I just did this one. So that was like 100 transitions in one thing, but because I filmed it in ×4, it was like so easy. It looked very, very smooth, right? Because you have that extra speed on there. Now, if your reels end up being a little longer, what I do, because I do like to have them at 15 seconds, I come in and I use InShot. If you don't have InShot yet, it is the best app. It's a great app for editing any videos at all. You can toss it in there. You can change the speed. You can get it quicker. And that's definitely for me, when it comes to reels, the one, the one app that literally has changed everything for me. So if you're, wanting to speed things up, or you want to have some good transitions in there, just film it faster, and then it really, really works. And so here's one of the things that I wanted to say is, I scroll reels all the time. I see people's, what they're doing, right? But you really want to be consistent and you want to be authentic. So if you go in and you're like, sweet, I posted like one reel this week, like that's fine. Like you might have other ways that you're growing. But if you're really consistent with these, just like anything in this business, I guarantee you it's going to actually start changing things for you. Like I said, I'm about 5 weeks in. I posted a reel every day pretty much now for 5 weeks. I think I might have for every single day. And what's really funny is I was talking to my team and I said, you know, I actually started doing them and I actually lost a whole bunch of followers. Like my followers went down by like 200. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it wrong. I'm like, I shouldn't be doing this. This is bad. Oh my gosh, like freaking out. But then what's funny is I was like, no, just keep going with it, trust it. And as I've been going, now I'm gaining followers. I'm losing some and that's okay. Cause I'm like, they don't want to be served by me. That's fine. But the new people that are coming in actually are. And so now I'm starting to climb, like I'm starting to get, better numbers. But you have to be consistent with it. So I'm on a mission to post a reel every day for 90 days right now to see what happens, kind of test the waters. But be authentic with it. Like I know we see other people's stuff and we're like, that's so awesome, right? And I do gain a lot of inspiration from other people, but I always try to make it again about my niche and then always again about, me not stealing someone's idea. It's like I had a painting project with my students and we'd always use famous artist work. And I was like, okay, now make it your own, right? So they had the inspiration from somewhere, but they had to create a completely different painting using that inspiration. And I think that that's what's important in this is that when you're being your authentic self, people are really going to buy into that. So I saw this one. This one's fun.
Okay, so you're this? Yeah. But you want this? Yeah. Okay, so in order to get that, you'd have to do this.
So I saw someone else do that with and it was very different, but I heard the audio and that's kind of the thing when you're scrolling, you can hear the audio. And once you figured out that niche, you're like, how can I bring this into what I want to do myself personally, right? Like, how can I make this about my niche? And trust the process, you guys, because, reels aren't going anywhere right now. Instagram's always changing, but they really are kind of the biggest way to start building your audience. And they're fun. Like they can be super, super fun. One of the biggest things that you want to do, and I'm almost done here, is you want to batch your reels. And it's so funny because Trina the other day messaged and she's like, I just did 23 reels in like 1 hour. And I'm like, holy crap, right? Like that's insane. But you really want to plan ahead. So, pick a day where you have like an hour to 3 hours. So if that's on, like for me on Mondays is when I'm batching my content so that I'm set up for the week. I'm like, okay, I need to hammer out at least 7 reels on Monday. So I've got my week totally covered for me. Come up with kind of like a schematic of whatever it is that you want to do each day of the week. And kind of, so if it's Monday for you, Sunday night, be like, okay, I've planned out these 3 reel or these 7 reels. These are what I'm going to do. This is the outfits that I need, right? Because you can like, seriously, don't waste a good hair day, ladies. Make a whole bunch of reels with it, right? When you're looking good. But plan it out and take an hour to 3 hours, make all your reels, right? And then you're covered for the week. And that's kind of what I've been doing is just so that I'm not frantically like, I have to make a reel today. They're planned out and methodical. And I do want to show you 2 of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. I actually bought, and I highly recommend if you're new to reels and you're like, I have no idea what I'm doing. I don't know how to make them. Maya IG here, she has a Reels Real Talk or something. I think it's called Real Talk. I think it's like $90 and it's gold. Like there's so many and it's super simple. She guides you through like the whole process of this is how you click to start the reel. This is the things that you need to do next. She guides you through making transitions. She's really good. And this other girl here, Pink Sparrow, she's really good too. And what's great about both of them is they will show you a lot of trends that are happening right now. They show you where to find trending music, which music is trending. They give you ideas. So if you're like, oh, I'm struggling, they're literally like, okay, here's what you can do and just insert what your products are here. So it can be almost like it's very dumbed down, right? So when you're first starting. And here's the thing, when it comes to reels, guys, my biggest suggestion is before you, like, if you're not ready to niche down and do all that stuff, you're just like, I just need to learn how to do it. Start doing it. I literally held myself back for so many months because I'm like, I don't know what my niche is. I don't know what to post, blah, blah, blah. But once you get in there and start playing around with them, it's okay to like discover what your niche is or who you are or what you're wanting to do along the way. You don't have to have it all figured out and then start. And that was my problem. Again, perfectionist, self-proclaimed perfectionist. It really held me back. So my biggest suggestion is, start doing them, play around with it, figure out what you really want to focus on, be authentic, and have some fun with it, because they are pretty fun to do. So anyway, I hope that helped. I wish I could have my screen and show you guys everything of how to do them and all the stuff, but then we would be here for 700 hours. So anyway, that's me.
Wow. Oh my God, that was so much better than I could have possibly imagined.
Oh,
So
good.
I am so impressed by you. You blew me away. I don't know. I think you're going to see a lot of people doing a lot better. I had no idea about this niche stuff, and I have no idea what my niche is, but I have to try to figure that out.
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's
I
hard.
do have one question for you.
Yes,
The
of
hook-
course.
Not the hook. The call to action didn't look like it was always in your reel. It was in your caption.
Yes.
You put it in your reel, or
So you can, and I would suggest like you could at the end, like be like, DM me for hair consultations. And that's the thing is like, I'm still learning and playing around. I usually put it at the end of my caption, but I am going to start putting it into my reels now at the very, very end.
And so
And I
there's
have, in some of them, I do have it, like in some of my other reels, if you check them out, like I'm like,
So you wouldn't do a reel like how would you incorporate like going to DR with Monet or something like, would that end up in your reels at all? What is your view of how that's going to work?
Yeah, like, and that's so funny because I mean, this right now, the way that this is set up is all very much product based, right? So it's very much product pushing. But I think for me, when I know that I've got a ton of followers following me for the right reasons and stuff, I'm definitely going to bring and I do have some with the business in it as well. And that's an area that I need to focus on more is bringing the business in. But I'm right now, like, yes, I will definitely, oh my gosh, like going to, when we're all in the Bahamas, I'll be making reels in the Bahamas, right? Okay. Because that is something, I mean, it is part of our business, right?
So pinpoint your niche, and then every now and then slap in the other stuff. But if you're mainly staying focused, you'll attract the right people.
That's my thoughts. Yeah.
Then you'll see the other parts. Okay.
Yeah. And I do have some business ones in there, and I will do carousel posts in my Instagram. Carousels are where you do more than one picture. So you can add multiples, and I'll do write-ups on the business there as well. And I talk about the business in my stories. But yeah, no, I think that you have to bring the business into the reels as well. And I think though, when people have been following you and they know you're about, for me, it's like they see my hair. And then when I'm talking business, they're like, oh, she's got, her hair is really long and she does this as a business. So it kind of still meshes, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know what to say. I could ask you 50,000 questions. Anybody have a question they want to ask her?
I'm trying to look and see.
I've been watching the just lots of love and lots of in awe and all those good stuff. So.
Oh, good. Yes. Well, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out and let me know. I can answer any questions and get on the reels and do the thing and have fun with it and stick to one thing, and away you go.
I have one question.
Yes.
So when you're doing your reels, are you doing everything in the Instagram thing, or are you recording it outside of and bringing your videos back in? Because I feel like when I did it on InShot and I brought it in, I didn't get as many views as if I did it on Instagram, but I never can figure out. I'm so it's so much.
I do all of my filming in Instagram. I don't film it and then bring it in. I do it all on Instagram. I will, if I want to speed something up, I will save it. And then I will bring it into InShot and kind of do whatever I need to do and then bring it back in. But I record everything on Instagram, because then that way you have that align tool. So anytime I'm doing transitions, then I'm able to, actually line it back up and do all of that. I do know that platforms like you to actually use their stuff, like IG knows if you import, the quality can go down a bit. Even if you save like your ones from Instagram and put them into Facebook, they look like garbage, like literally very robot-y and horrible. So I actually like the quality of mine that are like, when they're quick, the quality is still really good. But I've created them in Instagram, saved them, taken them out, put them into InShot, and change it. And I'll see if I can find, where did I see that? And I know I did it. You can change the quality of your videos as well. When you're actually uploading your reels, there's a setting. I'll have to look for it, Erin, and then I'll send it to you and you can send it out to everybody. But there is a space under settings somewhere that you can actually change the quality of the reels that are going out. Because it might be on a lower, what's the word I'm looking, not threshold. That's not what you know what I mean. It might be on a lower version, and then you can up it, and then the quality is better. Yeah. But yeah,
I'm going to say one. I want to make one recommendation, because for those who are like really getting started and they're afraid to do some of the things, don't aim for 100 transitions like you saw.
No.
And then if you're not sure about InShot in and out and all this, just keep your pick 3 transitions, maybe use the hand thing.
Yeah.
Whatever is simple. Try that first. I promise you, get started, I think, is the best way to
100%. And they can be so simple, Erin. Like it can literally be a song and you're doing this with your hair and that's it. Like you can keep them very, very simple. You have to understand too, like for me, I've got background in film and I've got background and stuff. So for me, using apps like this is like, and I've been doing this for 5 years too, right? And so doing any types of videos and stuff, I used to do tons of stuff. So don't think that you have to. And that's the thing that scares people, is you see all these incredible ones and you're just like, I cannot do that. It doesn't have to start that way. And it doesn't even have to end that way. Do what works for you. 100%. Yes. Don't do 100 transitions.
Awesome. Well, we've been here an hour. I don't want to take any more time. Maybe we'll get Erin come back for another topic later.
Round 2.
Yeah. Who knows, right? But I really appreciate it.
Check in with me in 2 months and we'll see where I'm at.
We will. I'll look at those followers. I just checked them out, and I'm sure they're going to continue to grow. So thank you so much. And everybody, this will be on a replay, and make sure all your people watch it. All right. Thank you both, Erin and Trina. Take care, guys.
Bye.
Bye.